Jessica Bartnick, co-founder and CEO.
Can you tell me a little bit about your journey to the nonprofit?
Yeah, it was a long one. I spent about 10 years in corporate America, just unfulfilled in sales management roles. And I just felt like I had to give back. I needed something to fill my void. So I started volunteering at a high school, not through an organization or anything, just saying I need to help these kids. And so I did. And I was kind of matched with these girls through the high school that were first generation. Um, never been, families never been to college. And they were so much smarter than I was at that age. And then I started asking the questions like, did you apply for the SAT, FAFSA, college? And they were like, no, 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 no. And I was like, oh my gosh, they just don't have the resources. And so that's where this kind of came from, the idea. I believe God speaks to us in our sleep sometimes. And I woke up and I was like, I need to start a nonprofit. And so I did.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about Choice?
Yeah. So CHOICE is an acronym for Consider How One Individual Changes Everything. And that is exactly what we do. Our mentors are all volunteers and they are matched one on one with an underserved student. And these kids are bright, they're gritty, and all they want is a chance. And so that's what we do. We give them a chance to change their life, to help them break the cycle of poverty for their family for generations to come.
Yeah, what are some of the challenges they're facing going back to school?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of challenges for these kids. They may have one parent in the home, right? And that parent may or may not work. And so them helping them to get to school, it may not be a priority. We have some kids that, they have to wake up at 5 a.m., get their younger siblings to school, and then they get to school. And mom or dad may not even be helpful, right? I mean, these kids are facing different challenges than we can even imagine. I mean, they're worried about where their next meal is going to come from if they're not at school, rather than really worrying about passing their tests. So they're dealing with a lot of different struggles for sure.
So, with kids and going back to school, how important is it to have a support system?
Yeah, it's obviously very important. And kids deal with from all different backgrounds. They deal with adversity. They deal with something that's challenging. And if you have something challenging that happened at school and you can't go home and really talk to a parent about that or get advice, you know, you can't control their brains aren't fully developed yet, right? So if their advice is only what they can think, then we can't really rely on that, right? And so they just deal with a lot of issues and problems really all by themselves. And then when they get out into the real world, and maybe they've been told their whole life, you can't do that, you can't do better, you need to stay here, you need to stay in our community. And when they try and do something that is good, if they don't have the right tools, resources, knowledge, right, then what are they going to do? And that's the problem that we see. We see that really, it's really sad. 86% of low income kids that go to college will drop out. That's essentially 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that's really where we come in and we try to fix that, right? So we have 85%. We're the opposite. We have 85% of our students that stay in college. And our goal is to not just get them to graduate from high school and go to college and then just graduate from college. We want them to get a job, get a career that can really change a trajectory and make the world a better place.
Yeah, I saw on the website that you do help people get jobs and move on
Mhm.
to the future. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So in our high school program, we start the process and we match every single one of our students with a business similar to what they want to study in college. And that's for a variety of different reasons, but the number one reason why we do that is we want to show these young people what the true benefit of a college degree is. Because most of their parents are in manual labor or food service. So they don't get to go to work with mom or dad. They don't get to see, why work in an office? They may have never seen one except for, tall buildings that are on the side of the street, right? So let's go into those. Let's see what they look like because they have no idea. If you don't know, you don't know, right? So we show them that and we say, this is what you can do. You have to use your brain differently working behind a desk than you do filling an order at McDonald's, right? And we're going to teach you and show you how to get there. So that's really where we start. And they get to go to that company. They get to meet with people at that company. Their mentors are all typically professionals as well. So they get a different kind of mindset. And then they go to college and they get to network with other businesses, other people that are obviously alums of the university of wherever they're going, right? And then get an internship and then hopefully help them land that career after they graduate because we've given them the tools like the mock interviews and the dress for success and all the things that they need, the critical thinking skills that can help them stand apart from their competition.
How does it feel for you to see these students succeed?
Um, it's you can't put it into words. When I have a student reach out to me who graduated from our program and then graduated from college and now has a job. I had one reach out to me recently on LinkedIn, which is amazing, right? And he just said, Jessica, without you and your program, I never would be where I am today. And now he's married and he has a baby. I mean, the baby's, probably running around acting crazy now, not like a newborn anymore. But, I said to him, I said, because of you and because of what you did and you accomplished, your sweet little daughter never has to have the same struggles that you did. She will never have the same barriers, never have the same adversity. And the goals for her are different than the goals were for you. And you changed that for her. And I think he cried and he was like, I know, and it's so emotional and it's unbelievable what we get to do.
What advice would you give any student heading to either college, high school, wherever, for the new school year?
Yeah. High school kids, it matters. Starting your freshman year, it matters. All that time leading K through 8, where you could slack off and have fun and not worry, it matters now. I say every student gets a mulligan semester and they can mess up. They can get a couple bad grades. You get one mulligan, but that's it. Um, those that are heading off to college, and it doesn't matter what type of family environment you live in, it doesn't matter what your background is. The transition from high school to college is hard. You are leaving your parents, most likely. You are going into a foreign place, and that transition is hard. And so, what do? You find a community, find people, one that can hold you accountable, and two, you can rely on when you just need to sit down and be like, man, this is really hard. Because it's hard moving away when you're 18 and you're still a child and you've never done it before.
I like your point with high school because I almost didn't graduate because I didn't take it too seriously. And I was in learning disability classes. So I always thought there was stigma with me. So I didn't take it seriously. But once I got to college, I got honor roll and all that. So it is important for people to take high school seriously.
It is, but it taught you, okay, whoops, I'm going to change this now, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that. So you should be proud of yourself that you're able to do that.
Well, well, thank you. So, what do you do to help your own mental health?
My what? No, I'm just kidding. I would say this is good. My family is everything for me. And if you don't have that support network, like you were asking, if you don't have that connection at home, that can disrupt your whole world. And so fortunately, everything in my home, while it's not perfect, it is my outlet. And, I love to put on a mindless entertainment show occasionally too, and just decompress.
Yeah, when you're working with the kids, are you also trying to get the parents on board so they could also be a support system if they can?
Yeah. So for us, Um, every parent does sign a parental consent, so we do have their permission to work with their child. Um, however, typically in the communities that we work, there is not a lot of parental involvement.
Okay.
We would love for there to be more, 100%. But even when you go to parent teacher conferences at the schools or parent night, they're just not highly attended at a lot of the schools that we serve. So it is a really big barrier. I would love there to be more parental support because we have had situations where the best thing for a student was to start at a community college because they didn't have the money to go to a university. So, because they didn't have the funding to go to college, they can't enroll. Yes, I know they were accepted, but they can't actually enroll in class. And so we actually had to have this conversation with a parent who got mad at us because they thought we were trying to hold their child down when that's not at all what we were doing. We were just trying to make sure they were successful because just because you get accepted to college doesn't mean you can go there if you don't have the funds to fully pay for it. So, and that was early on in our program. Right now, every single one of our students are averaging over $60,000 each in college funding.
Wow.
We have some of our students that are getting full rides. We just had our first Ivy League 4-year full ride to Cornell. So, I mean, our students, we are literally eliminating that barrier of financial independence, right? And we're making sure that these kids have the money to succeed.
Yeah, can you share some of these success stories?
Oh my gosh. There's so many, there's thousands. Um, yeah, so I'll share this one with you. And this one's it's different. So we had a student come to us. She was a refugee from Burma. And on her journey to America, in the refugee camp, her father contracted malaria and died. And then her brother, and then another sibling. And when she finally made it to America, it was just her and her mom. Through her high school, she was matched with our program. English is her second language. She barely spoke English when she moved here. We gave her a mentor I think she's been mentoring with us for like 10 or 11 years now. She's amazing. But she became her mentor and helped her tremendously. Now, we do have a curriculum, and it's a 27-week curriculum. We help the mentor guide these students through every step of the way. So the mentor doesn't have to come in with any knowledge of how to apply for college or getting careers or anything. We do that. We have the map. This mentor helped so much by giving her the tools to even learn English, that this student was able to get a $15,000 public speaking scholarship,
Oh,
English second
wow.
language. On top of that, she got a full ride to the University of Texas in Austin, and she for 4 years, not just 1 year, for 4 years. And right now, she's in medical school because she wants to work for an organization like Doctors Without Borders, so she can provide the type of medical care that her family did not receive.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one, right? That's a really powerful one. It's unique and different for sure. But I mean, we've had students who were like, I'm not going to college. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Right. And they spend 2 years in our program and they're at Cornell University, right, with a full ride. And we're like, and they were the valedictorian at their school. And then they're doing the commencement speeches, all the high school graduations. Right. So it's like, we're not just building high school graduates going to college. We're building the full human, and we're giving them the tools so they can just go do life.
Where do you want to see your mission in the next few years?
I would really growth is key for us because I think that there's so many communities that need a program like this, um, and there's so many kids that could use that extra layer of support. So I would love the growth, no doubt. If someone wants to start a chapter, we have the blueprint, right? If someone says, hey, we need you in this city, we can do that, but obviously we need the funding. to get there. We are a nonprofit, so nothing we do is for profit. And everything we do is just to support the program and to make sure that the kids are successful. But yeah, this program needs to grow, and we need more kids getting the support that they need to be as successful as they want to be.
How can people reach out and learn more?
Yeah. Check out our website, foundationforchoice.org, and it's FOR. You can email us at info@foundationforchoice.org, and we will get back to you. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to have you check out our social media. It's Foundation for Choice on Facebook and Instagram.